Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful morning in the Missouri Ozarks, but it's not going to stay that way. The high is 94, so we need to get started on our day. So during the hottest part, maybe we can rest.
Morning, turkeys. I've got a nice treat for the pigs this morning. I soaked their whole corn and some garden scraps in some milk that we had left over from the cow. It's gonna be a great treat for them. I'm trying to do this for them every morning now and give them some milk every morning. They really like it. Come on, pigs! There they are, way back there. They're coming. Come on, pigs! Even though they're getting big, they can still run pretty good. Even Big Mama. It's just in the really hot part of the day that they slow down. Hi guys, got some good treats for you. Good treats by pig standards anyway. Well, we thought we'd take a few minutes to sit down in the shade and talk to you guys about a question that we've been getting a lot on our videos, ever since we brought Hope to our homestead.
And that question is, why is she so skinny? Is she sick? She looks emaciated? Why is she so bony?
Yeah, is she dying? Is she super old? Maybe she's 30 years old.
So we wanted a chance to talk with you about that issue. So hopefully you all feel a little bit more comfortable.
So we wanted to start by talking about the difference between a dairy cow and a beef cow. When you drive down the road and you see cows out in a field, chances are that those are a beef breed of cow. Cows that are being raised for meat. There's a big difference in the appearance of a dairy cow versus one that's being raised for meat, especially Jersey cows. Jersey cows are notoriously skinny.
Yeah, well, bony. You can definitely see their hip bones, the top part of their ribs. But the beef cattle that you see, they're all like big and muscly and that kind of thing. And if you think about it, similar to the difference between a Cornish cross meat chicken and a layer chicken, there's just a huge body type difference between the two. And even though your layer chickens a lot of times look really big and puffed up, it's really a lot of times because of their feathers. And when you actually pick them up, you see that they're just these tiny little chickens underneath there, but the Cornish cross are really big. Similar to that is the difference between a beef cow and a dairy cow.
Right. We actually had a chance over this summer to make friends with an old dairy farmer here in our local community. We met him at our local farmer's market, and we got a chance to talk to him quite a bit.
We actually, Kevin and I, have a tendency to make friends with people who are much, much older than us.
And much, much smarter.
Yeah, and very wise. And so we've had a chance to talk with him and pick his brain a little bit over the summer before getting Hope. One of the things that he told us was that a good milk cow will be a thin milk cow. And he said that even on his farm, he actually said he would milk 100 head of dairy cattle
back in the day. Back in like the 70s.
Yeah, back in the 70s. And he actually would have cows that were filled out more, not as thin, that he would get rid of because they just weren't good milkers. The body would use all of its energy and calories and stuff to maintain its physical, you know, characteristics, and that wouldn't go into the milk. So a lot of times he would sell those off. Right.
Yeah, he said, in fact, a lot of times he would take those to the sale barn. He wouldn't even sell them to other dairies because he knew if a dairy cow was too big, it wasn't producing enough milk.
Right.
So even though we knew all of that and we felt pretty good about Hope when we saw her, after we got her home and we started to honestly see some of your comments, we thought, well, we better take her to a vet and just get her checked out and make sure that everything is okay. So we took her to our local vet who specializes in cattle and had them check her out.
We asked specifically about her body condition, what they felt about her body condition. And the vet said that her condition really was typical for a cow that had been nursing 2 calves and also had a family milking her for their milk consumption. He did say that she could stand to put on some weight, but he felt that when she was coming to our place and we would only be milking her for our family needs and, you know, to sell a little bit and not having any calves on her, that she would naturally put on a little bit more weight, and he wasn't concerned about it at all.
In fact, just in the 10 days or so that we've had her here, I feel like she already has put quite a bit of weight back on. She still maybe could stand to gain a little bit more, but I feel like she's doing a very good job of just building herself back up. So we'll just be monitoring her and make sure that everything keeps going in the right way. So while we had her at the vet and he was doing his full exam, he also recommended that we have her dewormed, because that could also be contributing to her, you know, losing some weight if she has a really heavy worm load.
Since she's been back from the vet, it does seem like maybe she's a little less bloated around the belly area. Hopefully that's because, you know, she's feeling better and has a lower parasite load. In our area in southwest Missouri, it's like a prime location for parasites. There's a lot of moisture here, humidity, rain, that kind of thing, which is a perfect environment for parasites. So it's a huge thing that we need to think about with all of our animals here. Now, there is some debate within the homesteading and small farming community about standard dewormer versus herbal dewormer, and it's a choice that every homestead and small farm needs to make. On our homestead and in this area, we feel that the herbal dewormers just are not as effective as a standard dewormer, and for the safety of our animals and for the safety of our family, we've decided to continue doing the standard dewormers.
Right. We've tried the herbal dewormers in the past. In fact, when we lived in Arizona, that's about all we used. And there, because the temperatures were so hot and everything was so dry, they worked fine because we didn't have a big problem with parasites. But here in Missouri, there's just too many, and it just doesn't work well here. It just can't keep up, I think, with the amount that we have here.
And we really feel that the health and wellness of our animals, that's our responsibility, and we sure do not want to see our animals suffer. You know, with too many parasites, these animals can die, and we just cannot let that happen to our animals. We rely on them for food, and they rely on us for their health.
Right. So even though we try to do things as naturally as we can, there are times when, you know, just like if you get sick, you know, for a cold, you may just take vitamin C, but if you get pneumonia, you may need to go to a doctor and get something stronger. That's how we feel about the animals, is we try natural things first, but if we've learned over time that natural just doesn't work and we need something stronger, that's what we'll do. So we still have a couple projects to do over by the cow barn, some things that we need to get ready because, believe it or not, they're finally predicting some rain coming our way.
And cooler temps.
It's going to be so nice. But there's
so.
things that we need to get ready for the animals before that rain comes. So let's go and we'll show you what we're going to be working on.
The other thing that we wanted to talk with you about really quickly has to do with one of our goats, Annabelle, the youngest one. You may have seen that when I was bringing in the cart full of straw, that she was out of the fenced-in electric fence area. Just within the past few days, she has been learning how to just come and go as she pleases, and that is just not acceptable for us right now. The rest of our goats are still respecting the electric fence. So we've made a decision that we're going to offer Annabelle up for sale. She is 6.5 months old. She's probably the best looking Nigerian dwarf goat I have ever had on this homestead. I'm heartbroken, but yet I don't have the patience, the time, or the space to find something else to do for her.
Right.
So
we're afraid that she's actually going to teach our other goats that it's okay to just walk right through the electric fence. But we just can't take that risk that suddenly all of them start doing that, and then we're back to square one.
We may have to separate her for a short time until we find a new owner, but if you are interested in buying her from us, please email us. That's the best place for you to contact us so we see it, and we can talk more about it. All of our goats are registered, and she's in perfect health. She's, like I said, the most beautiful Nigerian dwarf goat that I've ever had. She's going to be on the big side. She's just going to be a great goat.
Right.
Anyway, so email us if you're interested in that.
Right. She'll just need to be kept in a pen with regular fencing and not just the electric fencing.
Right.
Well, it's time for us to get to work. Sarah's going to start putting that bedding inside of the barn. I've got a new job on the homestead now, and that's cow pie picker-upper. So that's a job I've never had before, but hey, someone's got to do it. It'll make great manure to put in our garden when we get ready to till everything back in this year. So
You'll be a good pooper scooper.
we're only going to really pick them up just around the barn area and around the feeder. We're not going to worry about, you know, going out into the field to get them, just out here. So we're just making sure that things stay clean and we keep the animals in as good of shape as we can.
These keep Hope, our cow, from coming all the way back to this side of the barn, and it allows our goats to go underneath here, and they can lay down and rest and get out of the sun or get out of the rain. Now the thought process behind that is that Hope is a really big cow, and she may accidentally lay down on one of our small goats and they won't be able to get out of the way in time. So this still provides Hope with enough space to get out of the sun, get out of the rain, and lay down in this area, and it also provides a nice area for the goats back here. So these two boards are what keep them separated and safe.
Well, another benefit of having a cow. Nice manure. Like I said, we're just going to clean up the ones that are close to the barn so that we're not stepping in them, and so that it just keeps this area a little cleaner for all the animals. But we will be glad to have another source of manure for the garden. We'll let this compost over winter, and by spring it'll be ready to till in. I've been wondering for a couple days why the water in this low trough that we have for the goats has been getting all muddy, and the tall trough has been staying nice and clean. Now I know why.
Her feet are hot.
She's got hot feet. Well, the barn is all done and the poop is all picked up, so now it can rain anytime.
Any change in weather that will make it cooler, we are super excited for. Even if that means it's going to rain for 5 or 7 days straight, we'll take it as long as it just cools off a little.
So you guys, that's where we're going to end today's video. I hope that this helped clear up a little bit about why Hope appears to be so thin. It really is just because of her breed, being a Jersey cow. They're on the thin side, and because she had 2 calves on her before we got her, plus she was being milked for a family.
Don't forget, you guys, if you're interested in buying our goat who's getting out, her name is Annabelle, please email us so we can get started on that process. We'd appreciate it. Hey, if you're not a subscriber yet and you're enjoying our videos, please consider to hit the subscribe button below. Also, the best way to help us is if you would share our videos, share our channel with people that would enjoy what we're doing here. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.